everyone unanimously loves Shah Rukh Khan. I've never really bought advance tickets for any film all my life, but I've bought one for Pathaan. You know, it's the only medicine that we have right now to counter hate. It was always this center stage kind of I am the alpha in this, and I am here to be the savior. But Shah Rukh came in gently. For example, put the heroines in his film, their names first, in the thing. The effect is he has on women and people like me, and not just women, people of the minority.
Shayoni, welcome on Connect FM Canada. कैसी हैं आप?
थैंक यू। मैं बहुत बढ़िया हूँ। कॉफी पी रही हूँ। बॉम्बे का
मैं
मौसम काफी ठीक ठाक है
वेरी गुड।
आजकल। थोड़ी ठंड
दैट्स
है।
गुड। सुना।
हाँ, और हाँ, मैं सुबह सुबह आई हूँ आपसे। हमारा 13.5 घंटे का डिफरेंस है। सो
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. So Shayoni, we have discussed in all our interviews your fascination with Shah Rukh Khan. Now his film is coming up. Pathaan is releasing. What does Shah Rukh mean to you? You work with him in fan. What does he mean to you?
I think I've spoken about this so much that it's almost embarrassing. It's very different when I'm talking about Shah Rukh and when Shah Rukh is in front of you. Like it's very different, right? Because I always try to be very calm and like composed and like, but also like really warm and but I've always had such memorable experiences around him. But for all of us and most people that I meet who are not just not part of the industry, but also part of the industry, everyone unanimously loves Shah Rukh Khan. Like everyone. You don't really come across anyone who's like, like, because, the other people, you'll always have like, actors and stars and, sorry, there's somebody's like honking. uh, we, sorry. Yeah, they're going with the bhajis. So, every other actor or star or superstar in the world, I feel, has, have people who like them and people who are crazy about them and people who are okay about them. But I think the energy or the euphoria around Shah Rukh is quite unmatched, and with more, you would think that, because he hasn't had a film, say, in a couple of years, right? In a few years. But
Hey.
still, yeah, but still, it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't even matter with, whether you're an older person or a younger person. The euphoria around him, the madness, the craze around him, and the sheer depth of love for him just keeps increasing, and that's quite magical for me to witness. And in fact, with Pathaan, I mean, this is Shah Rukh week and Shah Rukh month starting, tomorrow, 25th, and everyone's really excited. I was speaking to my friends who are super excited. We've all bought, I've never really bought advance tickets for any film all my life, but I've bought one for Pathaan. That euphoria, that magic, that madness that you associate with the experience of watching a film on the big screen, that uh, that big ticket, that event film, you feel with Shah Rukh. You feel like, uh, that child again who's getting to watch a film for the first time on the big screen. And I think Shah Rukh brings that. And somehow, everyone, and I would like to speak on behalf of people that I've interacted with, that everyone's rooting for the film and everyone wants the film to do really, really well. And everyone wants Shah Rukh to come out victorious no matter what. So it's a very different kind of it's a different kind of a connect. It's not just, it's bigger than the film, it's bigger than what your understanding of filmmaking, or what, it's bigger than the other actors even. it's just about people's fascination and love for Shah Rukh Khan and them rooting for him no matter what. And that's quite magical. And that's something that I don't think anyone can quite quantify. Or, you can't quite, logically sort of figure why that happens. But he just has that kind of effect. And I've always said that I feel there's a God particle in him. And that happens to some artists, that happens to some humans around us. And I think we're very lucky that he was born around us, born in the same time, around the same time that we live. And some of us who have, gotten to interact with him. And I don't mean to sound like, okay, this crazy girl who's in love with him. No, but there is something quite unmatchable about him, and once you meet him, you realize that, everyone who's sort of come around him knows that, and something about him. And I really feel that वो अल्लाह का बंदा है, कुछ तो है उनमें um, कि उनका वो जो प्यार करने का और देने का जो कैपेसिटी है, वो इनफाइनाइट है उनके अंदर। और वो प्यार फैलाने का जो उनमें वो जो एक वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन की तरह उनमें एक शक्ति है। It's almost like, that butterfly effect of love, love, love. Like it's in everything it touches. And that is quite godly and quite divine in my understanding of the world, because I think there's no better or stronger emotion than love.
Okay. So do you find the entire love that is around Shah Rukh right now? Do you find that in a way inspiring? And hope there
The
is
entire what? The entire?
the, the entire persona surrounding Shah Rukh right now. There is this element of love that is surrounding him. The way people
Hmm.
are rooting for the film and stating that they will watch the film,
Hmm.
irrespective of anything whatsoever. Do you in a way find it inspiring, and an element of hope is there?
Yes, of course. I think Shah Rukh always instills hope, yeah. And also his depth and his wisdom, his perspective, how he looks at things in a different way, which is funny and witty and humane and, full of life. I think, of course, it's hope inducing. Of course, as I said, it feels like it's the only medicine that we have right now to counter hate. And he is the living, moving, mascot of love. So there is no bigger idea and entity which can sort of, you know he really is what unites all of us, and he really is an emotion that in unites all of us. And no matter where you're from, no matter what class, caste, gender, orientation, which part of the country, it doesn't matter, or the world, there is a sense of we love him. He's that emotion that sort of unifies us, and that unifying language is love, which is what makes him special. Yeah.
All right. So Shani, we have spoken about your fascination with Shah Rukh Khan many times, and the exclamations and the headlines that we get from that. I've spoken to many actresses, and I've said this before as well. Maybe such a huge number of actresses, the way they have this respect and love for Shah Rukh is something baffling. So he's sporting
Yeah.
these six-pack, eight-pack abs right now, and he's looking amazing as well. But
Mm.
that 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 fascination that a lot of these actresses, a lot of the women they have for him is not merely because of the physical attributes, but the way he treats women, the way he respects them, the way he looks at them,
Mm.
uh, which is something which is very, very unique. How beautiful a part do you find as far as that aspect is concerned in his personality?
So it's very interesting that you asked this question. And thank you for asking this question, because it's actually women, and he says that all the time, right? It's the women who are responsible for, that kind of craze, to a large extent. And women who are like my mother, who don't really watch a lot of Hindi films, but is crazy about Shah Rukh. And my grandmother, she's passed many, many years ago, but even she liked him very much. And I think it's about how he treated women. And I write that in the article, actually, that for the first time, first of all, while other heroes were coming and being macho and, killing the villains and, were saving the women, but it was always this center stage kind of I am the alpha in this, and I am here to be the savior. But Shah Rukh came in gently. He didn't want to be their savior. He just wanted to look in your eyes and hold you gently and just be there, and be there for you to hold him. And that change of how a man or a lover wanted to be perceived and how he perceived you. So I think, he came to your eye line. He didn't want to be bigger than you, you know? He wanted to be your equal. And he wanted to love you with respect and love you gently, you know? And that, I think, changes everything, right? And he's the first person who, for example, put the heroines in his film, their names first, in the thing. Things like that. So he started, playing anti-heroes first, right? And he wasn't shy. He was just here to do whatever it took, and to do good job, right? And he came and because there is such a, again, there is such a middle class, upbringing to everything that, he represents. It is more relatable. It's much more relatable to people who are always not in the position of power, and like normal people like us, he seemed like this boy that you could be in love with, and you could touch and feel, and he looks at you. He doesn't want to like woo you and, eve tease you or look at you from the car. He'll come and hold you, and probably seek your permission with his eyes. And consent became important, and these are the things that I think, without, even realizing why, in the subconscious of women, it changed how women wanted to be looked at, and it validated how they wanted to be looked at. So when you talk about Shah Rukh and women and the kind of craze that women, have for him, it's really not about the outer. Of course, I mean, he is, but it's so much more, and he goes here and he goes here, and that's what is different. He just doesn't excite you as a sexual being, but he also stimulates you as a human being, as an emotional being. And that's what it's tremendous about, I think, his kind of, the effect as he has on women and people like me, and not just women, people of the minority, and everyone really. And it's really not about, it's really, that's what I was saying, that he is a unifying force. And you can't really say that, oh, this group, of people love him more. Not really. I think everyone unanimously love him.
Absolutely. Shivani, thank you very much for your time. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you, as always, and I love you. And please take care of yourself, and I will see you soon in Vancouver.
Vancouver, see you definitely. Take care. Have a
See
great day.
you. See you. Yay! Let's watch Pathaan.